Not unless it was burning. That's about
it.
the only thing that'll get me out of one in that situation, too. But Bill Riles and photographer Dave Snyder took that big plunge. We'll tell you more about it. Stay with us. Well, there's a sport that's been around for some time that, thanks to a new twist, is picking up quite a few more followers. It's called tandem skydiving and affords just about anyone with enough guts to try it the adventure of free falling from an aircraft. And here's the catch: with a minimum amount of training. News First 25's Bill Riles and photographer Dave Snyder took the big plunge over the weekend.
Just try those on, make sure they're snug that way.
Photographer Dave Snyder and I didn't quite know what we were in for on our arrival at Lisa and Duane Daws' Carmi Sport Parachute Center. We soon found out it would be the thrill of a lifetime. We both listened intensely to the instructions Duane gave us in preparation for the jump. Connected to the instructor by a harness, we practiced exits from the plane on the ground while Duane told us what tandem skydiving was all about.
There's no provision in the FARs, being the Federal Aviation Regulations, Part 105, concerning parachuting. There's no provision for two persons on a single parachute system. So in that aspect, it has to be considered experimental, even though there has been at least 10 years of development.
Then it was time to take to the air. I went first, wondering the whole time why we were doing this.
I don't know why you did it. Well, to me, the sport of skydiving is probably the freest form of flying you can do. And I've always liked the idea of flight, whether it be hang gliders or parachutes.
These pictures shot as we exited the plane and while in free fall from 10,000 feet are from expert skydiver and photographer Bill Hine.
There's no freer feeling in the world than free falling. And being able to capture that on film for somebody else just adds to my enjoyment of the sport.
Duane was wasting no time. We jumped before I knew it. As we fell some 6,000 feet in about 40 seconds, I was surprised at how comfortable the fall felt. It was over before I knew it, and another 5 minutes riding down under the canopy provided instruction on maneuvering and landing, which turned out to be a little rougher than normal.
Oh, you got to do this, Dave. This is wonderful. This is great. I got to do this again. Got to do it again.
Later, it was Dave's turn. As it turned out, his exit from the plane was a little better than mine, with fewer acrobatics, and his landing was a little softer. Both of us were surprised by how comfortable the feeling of free fall was, how safe we felt, and we could now understand why so many people get hooked on skydiving.
I hate to say it, but I kind of got burnt out, so to speak, on teaching first jump course. And with the tandem, I think the thing about it is that I'm right there with the person to experience that first time jump and that excitement.
In Carmi, Illinois, Bill Riles, News First 25.
And Bill and Dave are going for that lobotomy a little bit later today. Well, in Los Angeles, it was...
Alan Lee joins us now in sports, taking a look at skydiving. It's becoming very popular. I guess just about anybody can just go out and do it now.
Well, that's you gotta have a requirement there, that's for sure. Well, probably one of the most adventurous sports ever dreamed up is skydiving, throwing oneself willingly out of a perfectly good airplane with life dependent upon thin strands connected to a parachute is not something I would do. That's why we have a crazy department headed up by News First 25 business reporter Bill Riles, who went about the business of skydiving this weekend.
Many people tend to be in awe of the sport of skydiving, and even instructors will tell you it is not natural to exit a working airplane several thousand feet in the air. And maybe that's why it's so attractive, a chance to overcome a deep fear. Photographer Dave Snyder and I got a first-hand look at the sport this weekend. Lisa and Duane Daws were busy with what has become a usual weekend at the Carmi Sport Parachute Center. They instructed novice would-be jumpers in plenty of ground school before an actual jump and took thrill seekers like Dave and I for their first free fall on a tandem jump.
Everybody's different. They handle the adrenaline a little different. And let's face it, not everyone's a natural at this. So we've just give you the training that you need in order to make a safe jump.
We've been tandem jumping here for 3 years.
And you've met with pretty good success, haven't you?
That's correct. We've had a lot of fun with it. The tandem, to me, it has kind of, it's renewed my interest in the sport.
New jumpers are first instructed on how to perform static line jumps, where the parachute opens automatically the minute you exit the plane. After several more jumps on student status, jumpers can graduate to free fall.
Even though you're going solo, you're still not pulling your own ripcord for the first at least 5 jumps. And then you're allowed then to go into free fall on your own through the static line procession.
And all of that takes some type of training. I mean, you're trained the whole way through.
Oh, definitely. The static line first jump course is at least 5 hours long. And
The cost may seem steep at first. $120 covers initial ground school and the first jump. The next few jumps as a student are much less. Compared to the thrill, the cost is really no object. In Carmi, Bill Riles, News First 25.
On the rear riser is a metal retaining ring which the steering line passes through. On the lower side of the ring is a yellow loop called the toggle for the canopy to provide an acceptable descent.
you know what he means?
If the slider does not come down the lines at least halfway,
It starts when it's packed. It's all the way up at the skirt of the canopy. So on the opening sequence, that slider needs to come down at least halfway between you and the parachute for it to be a controllable parachute. If it does, then we're going to show you another way to bring it all the way down, and it'll rest right above your risers here.
the slider comes down far enough to descend with, but did not travel fully. It can be brought down manually.
Give you the chapter. No, you're going to... Okay, okay. When you first exit the airplane, he teaches you to do the count. Remember, he said do the 6th count where you actually count 5,000. Check. Well, at that time, you should have a parachute above your head. Okay? If you do, you reach up and give the cock.
Sink right there.
Yeah, what you're doing, hey.
Flare. How you doing?
All right.
Yeah, we're going to have to move the landing out to avoid that sink. There you go.
That
Good
was
job.
great. Thanks a lot.
We'll get you unhooked here.
Pete's landings have been squirrely, too. There's just some
I know, I flared in time last
Yeah.
time for the wind.
I don't want to give up my call sign.
We need you to be comfortable with an emergency situation before you get out of this house.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a training harness that does not have the risers being out. This is just the rear risers. It says that's what we're interested in.
I ain't giving up my shaft. I love my mother. I fell in head over here.
Yeah, real life situation in your
Yeah,
sled.
it ain't gonna match that shaft.
You got to stop. Remember to do that, Robert. Yeah, I'll tell you. Your line twist is cleared. Then you know just reach up here and do your slow double pump. You're looking up, but you can't be to make sure everything's okay. Sliders down, the insoles are open, everything's wonderful. Question is it controllable?
I'll give you one of these. That means just relax. Let me blow back. Okay. Right shoulder. Snap. Once I call for cut, that there needs to be. Okay. I'll call for a cut. We'll let the field climb out up to this position. We need to put all the weight on our left knee. Step out if we can. Let's take forward very low. Excellent. Excellent. Head up. Don't shove off. Just arch. Ready. Sit. Arch. Excellent. Excellent. Head up.
Okay.
Keep your hips forward. Head up. Okay? Ready to do it?
I think so.
Let's go try it.
Dadgummit. I got in behind you. I don't know what I got at that one. I got in behind you.
Come on, try it. That was great. That was incredible. Nice.
Like that?
Nothing quite like it.
I'm sorry. I think I missed the bulk of the landing because I was behind you. I was trying to catch up with you.
Nice job. Good exit. What an exit.
Did you flip?
Beautiful. No, just picture perfect. It happens so